Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. For first week of Information System and Technology, we would like to study about basic computer knowledge. What do you know about the basic computer knowledge? Okay, let's get started. Well, here, according to the information, the definition of computer is electronic devices that can receive input and then process them to produce output in the form of information. Okay, well, here for the input, it can be a form of, sorry, change it with the text. Yeah, pen. Here, the input can be in the form of data, and then for the output itself, the output, yeah, information. Yeah, this is the basic definition of the computer. Yeah, they can receive input and then process them, and then finally we've got the output in the form of information from the input of a data. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Okay, computer system. Well, the definition of the computer system here, the computer system is a computer element which contain of hardware, software, probably brainware, and so on. They're interlocking or interconnected. Is a collection of interrelationship component which interacting to carry out such a kind of processing process, and then the IM is producing information as expected. Well, when we would like to talk about the computer system itself, this kind of some kind of duplication here, you can delete one of the words. Here we can use the element of the computer system itself, hardware, software, and brainware, which doing what the computer definition doing, like producing the output from the input as expected. They have like goals or aim here to produce the output or the information from the data, processing the data, the input, through the integration of all of the component. Yeah, from the hardware, software, and the brainware. Okay, let's continue. The information technology. What do you know about the information technology? Okay, from the dictionary of Oxford English, we got the definition of information technology. It states that information technology as hardware and software and can include networks, telecommunication, usually in the context of business or yeah, this is only one, sorry. It's only business, right? Or maybe personal. Or personal task probably. Okay. uh we got the definition about information technology here is the collection of the component, hardware, software, telecommunication technology, network. Most of them probably more likely, yeah, closely to the technical related for the technology. Now here you can see that the term of information technology utilize the device, the computer itself, to process the data into usable information, what we call information. Yeah. information. The aim is to, useful information, to produce useful information is the aim or the goals. Okay, we can continue. Computer science. What are the differences between the information technology and the computer science? Here, the definition of the computer science is the science, we got it from the name itself, the science here, that contain theory, methodology, design, and implementation, which deal with the computing, computers, algorithm, and etc. Perspective of software and hardware. Here, we can see that the main point of the computer science here is focusing on theory, methodology, probably the design, and also implementation about those devices that already mentioned before, such as computer, and also including algorithm related. Here more likely focusing the science itself, the theory, the methodology, the design, and the implementation, right? It's different from the information technology. The information technology, probably we talk about the technical technology. We got the hardware, the software is the is the supplement of the hardware itself, and then we've got the networks, and the telecommunication is usually or particularly related with technical stuff. Then we continue about the computer structure. Here we can see from the figure, there is a picture that represent how the process structure in computer. We can see that here there is an input device giving us an input, right? It's containing data, and then the flow is here started to entering the input or output port by entering the port first, and then the process it started with input is number 1, and then the second one is the process of processing. Here is called processing. Sorry, here. And then the last one is output. The processing or the process itself is containing the process how to transfer or modify from the data or the input, and then through the control bus, data bus, through the CPU itself, there's some kind of processing, processing or system processing using several tools inside probably, or the device that help the processing, the processing, such as CPU and the memory to process the data. And then after the process or the required process done, we've got the result through the output. We got the output in the form of information that can be seen or can be produced through the output device. If we've got like the data in the form of probably paper or anything else, the data is captured, data in paper, and then we that in a digitalized form. There is a processing. It can be calculating or analyzing or anything else. Processing means calculating, analyzing, analyze, or etc. And then we've got the output here in the form of probably report or visualization. Okay, we can continue. Okay, when we talk about the benefit, we already talked about how the process that was conducted in the computer itself. Then we would like to talk about the benefit. The benefit of the computer. Well, we use the computer in our day-to-day activity to here process the data, to produce information that might be useful for the business or the personal task or anything that might help for human or the organization. Yeah, we need them to be fast, accurate, informative, and efficient. We hope that using the technology will help the processing or to get the result faster. We can get the result faster, better, and meet the user need. Okay. Well, if we talk about the user need, we can see that user here, it can be a lot of related entity that might relate. We can see that a lot of organization also gonna have some gonna get some benefit from it. For example, in the educational sector and then industrial and manufacturing, business or banking. For the educational, we can see that we've got like the help of technology, we can get an online education. And then in the industrial and manufacturing, probably that will help on the process of the digitalized manufacture, right? And then in the banking, we've got online banking also. And then what is it? In engineering, science also. Yeah, probably it's related with the manufacturing also. Aviation, yeah, of course. Ticketing, we've got online ticketing here. And then medicine, this is really helpful when the COVID hit us, right? Yeah, there's a lot of technology such as the visualization, right? Data visualization to inform us which part of location that was infected by the COVID and etc. And the crime also, entertainment, Netflix, probably you all know. Netflix, right? Information, yeah, communication or networking in the internet. And the government also probably related with the health during the pandemic. We've got several health apps from the government that monitoring the COVID spread. Okay, there are several technology that was involved in our day-to-day life and beneficial for us. Then we continue with the computer capabilities. Well, when we talk about the capabilities of the computer, of course, the speed and the accuracy of the processing data is very important. And the main capabilities of the computer, it can be also here. Yeah, it can be defined by the speed and the accuracy. Yeah, we can define the computer speed or the capabilities of the computer by seeing how is the speed, the accuracy, their performance of doing such a kind of task. In addition, the ability of the data storage capacity in memory external storage such as hard disk is currently experiencing a very extraordinary increase in capacity. As we all know that probably after the pandemic hits us, we've got everything all online. Therefore, we need some kind of space that, or we kind of what we call like cloud storage, external storage, to store all the data outside the uh state storage, state drive storage. We all know that the increased capacity of the data are increasing because probably during the pandemic there's a lot of activities that we done online. Therefore, we need some kind of higher capacity of for the online data. We use external storage. Here we continue with the computer characteristic. This is actually a little bit mixed up. We talk about the storage and then well, we continue with the computer characteristic here. Well, here there are several of the characteristic of computers. Well, when we talk about the device, that will be no feelings or emotion, but you guys probably know the ChatGPT. You can ask several questions to the tools or the ChatGPT itself. Just try to find out what exactly their feelings is. That's probably interesting. And then you're gonna prove that the device has a feeling or not. Just try to ask ChatGPT how the feelings, how exactly their feelings today or the other day or the next day. Okay, let's continue. Computers are able to store a large data for a long time, and if the data is needed, it can be retrieved to any time. Well, okay, the computer, if it's embedded with the large storage, thus the computer, it can contains a lot of data. But if the computer doesn't have the embedded storage, that can use some kind of cloud storage, or we already talk about it as an external storage here. And then after we save it on the external, we can also retrieve them when we need them. Okay. And then we continue with the computer can also sequencing or searching in a short time, million seconds. Okay, the work of the computer is count not by hour. No, not by hours, but in millisecond. They work very fast. So probably when they calculating something, probably you're gonna get the result only in millisecond. Here, it's very fast. Okay, we continue. The next characteristic, computer are able to process a large calculation. Here, if we've got a lot of data, large data, the computer, that will be very helpful for your work. If we got a large company with the large data, so it's really helpful to calculate this data accurately. The most important thing here is accuracy. When we probably serving a lot of entities or user or customer, this is really helpful to give the update accurately and quickly. And then the computers are also able to receive and output large amount of data or information in the fast time. And this one is probably related with the quickly, right? This one is related, yeah, as quick as possible. Yeah, the data is available. Okay. In addition to having the advantages as mentioned above, actually the computer also have some limitation or disadvantages. Here we all see that a lot of benefit from the computer, but also there's a limitation. Computers cannot think dynamically like humans. We all know, probably you use the previous tools that I talk about, ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT, well, yeah, you probably can ask several questions, but again, it's not as dynamic as human. I tried several questions related statistical. Yeah, they yeah, yes, they can answer it, but they can answer it correctly. They can't answer it correctly here. It's not like human. Again, it's only the device or the tools. It's not as dynamic as human. And then work done by the computer can reduce human labor. Okay, here we've got like helping the productivity, right? They increase the productivity. But also, if the technology replace the human, so that will be a lot of unemployment. That could be another problem, right? And then the data stored in the computer has higher risk. As we all know, there's a lot of risk for saving your data on your computer without the help of the external storage. No external means only your own computer. Yeah, that could be like our storage. Probably there is some kind of electricity problem or hardware problem or anything that might be not really good or risky for the computer. So the computer is unable to work as normally. So that would be really dangerous for your data here. Okay, the next limitation is related with the occurrence of fraudulent transactions such as banking and credit card thief. Okay, when we talk about the banking, that's possibility related with money. Money means you have to be careful here when yeah, doing the transaction using money. Means that there is really high risk if we only save it on the computer. There's a lot of possibilities such as data breach or anything that may be intruder or anything that would like to here risking the transaction or the money itself. Okay, let's continue with the computer evolution. Probably guys, you have read about the evolution of the computer here. Computers are getting more sophisticated, as we all know that every probably month, not only year, right? Every month we've got a lot of new devices, updates or anything related hardware or software update with the new version. Yeah, that's actually pretty sophisticated and really, of course, helping our work to becoming faster and better, of course. But if we take a look back from the history of the computer generation, we can see there is the first, second, third, fourth, and five. Probably it's very long time ago for the first generation in 1944 to 56. It's very old, right? And then for the second one is in the 60 to 64. And then the third one is on the 64 to 75. Yeah, the first one is probably, we will explain it later. Each of this generation of the computer evolution. And then the fourth generation is like what computers look like right now. And the fifth is the computer for the future. Well, we can look for the details of each computer generation here. As we can see from the picture here, that the probably shape of the computer is very huge, right? Even the person here is so small. And then we've got these huge devices as the computer. This one is the first generation. You can see that the structure is more like a vacuum tubes, the huge one, right? And then there is a lot of amplifier there. Yeah, we can see that really complicated, a lot of cables here, not really easy to mobilize at that time. Here in 1946, the first electronic computer, the name of computer is ENIAC here, which contain of 18,000 vacuum tubes with a weight of 30 tons. Really heavy ones, right? It's really difficult to go mobiling with these devices, right? And also the probably disadvantages is about the requirement for the electrical power. They need 174 kilowatt. That's really huge electricity probably at that time also. Yeah, waste of energy, I guess. Then we can continue for the second generation of the computer here. Yeah, probably it's getting smaller. As we can see from the picture here, that the size probably, yeah, be smaller, not as huge as the first one. Here for the second generation, it consists of 3 layers. The 3 layers containing the basic, collector, and the emitter. Here, for the 3 layer, there are also transistor and amplifier and everything that connected to help the computer work. And then the advantages for this second generation is not easily broken. Probably from the size we can all see that, yeah, the resource is already reduced, so the size is also be smaller and probably way more cheaper. Okay, when we talk about second generation, probably we can relate with the IBM 7090, right? This is one of the series of the second generation of the computer. Also, we've got IBM series uh, 1400 and NCR series 304, Mark IV, Honeywell model 800. There is such a lot of variation for the second generation of the computer. And then we move to the third generation of computer here. The third generation of the computer is, I'm really sorry, it's written on Indonesian, right? I'm sorry. You can see that here is getting cheaper here. and getting smaller. And it's also using the same transistor and probably any other device that help to structurize the computer. And here we can see that in the third generation of a computer, there is a magnetic ring. Yeah, 924 magnetic ring. And then it's probably very helpful to help the work of the computer. And also there is a binary concept here, as we can see, 0 and 1 computer concept here is already been introduced. And then there is the automation, the what is it, the example of the third generation, we call it PDC 808. Yeah, this is the series name, which have 4 kilobytes of memory and 8-bit for the core memory. This one probably is getting smaller and cheaper. I guess it's getting better. Yeah, and then we continue for the fourth generation. Here we've got microprocessor. Here is the shape of the device that we all know. Probably looks like the old TV. Yeah, in the 80s TVs like that. Yeah, the tube TVs. Here, the name of the fourth generation computers is microprocessor. The microprocessor here is this is built from 1,000 of IC chip, and then because of the size, it's getting more smaller. And this is really helpful when we do the mobiling itself. It's easier to mobile with this shape, with this size, rather than the previous size. It's also getting cheaper because the probably the element is not as complex as the previous series. Okay, here when we talk about the series, here there is the model that represent the fourth generation computer. For the old one is like a Motorola 68000, Xerox 880, and then Apple II computer. There's a lot of type here that been introduced with this size. This one is the Apple, the first one, the Apple computer. Okay, and then the fifth generation computer. Here is the last generation for the computers. We probably characterized by the LSI, large scale of integration. Here is containing a lot of microprocessor, and we all can see that it's more look like the nowadays laptop, right? The laptop that we used to saw in our day-to-day life. It's really easy to go to mobiling with this one. And of course the capability is also better, faster. The processing is also the speed is also better because it's containing a lot of microprocessor, the component conducting, and also the size is also way more simple than the previous one. Sorry, there's a duplicate slide. Okay, we continue with the computer hardware here. The computer hardware. we take a look from the semantic of the structure of the computer. Here we've got the computer. The computer here is divided into several components. There is hardware, software, and the brainware. For the hardware, probably also the hard element of the computer that help the process of input, process, and output. For example, we've got the hardware such as keyboard, mouse, anything that hardware, the hard part, the hard element. And then we move to the soft one, the software itself. The software means related with anything related to program or the application, yeah, that running inside this hardware, right? Can be operating system, it can be application or programs that works inside this hard component. And then we've got the next component is the brainware. The brainware here means related with the one who use this element. He can be an operator or programmer or system analyst. The someone who also help this component to be developed. It can be called brainware. Okay, computer. We continue to the computer component. We already learned that the computer contains hardware, the hard, the hard element, which contain input and output. Because yeah, processing it also can be here. Processing, right? We can see that it works on the CPU, and then input we can see like keyboard or the one that I use right now, like drawing tools. And then the output you can see like printer, something that producing, yeah, the output. And then the external component, external storage, for example, like USB, flash disk. Yeah, it's the external. Okay, this is also the same, the configuration from the previous one that I already mentioned before. Here we can get the basic structure of the computer process. There is an input process which helped by the device and then processing, and then there is an output. Well, there's also some peripheral device that might help for the processing itself. Now, input here, there are several example of the input devices and the process devices. Here's what happened inside the CPU. And then for the output, you can see here there is some example, plotter, printer, anything that produce the output, right? Okay. Here is the illustration. You can see here when we typing on the keyboard, we input the data, input data. And then here is the processing on the CPU. Processing. Well, the last one is output. Here is producing the result of the processing, right? Like a report probably. Okay, here in the CPU, that might be reading the data from external storage. external storage such as like floppy disk or probably disk or hard disk. Yeah, any other yes, external storage, flash disk, USB, and anything. Okay. For the input devices here, input devices, it can be any kind of tools that receive the input, that capture the input, capture the data. So it can be input for the computer. It can be from keyboard, pointing device, scanner, sensor, webcam, voice recognizer, or anything else that capture the data. The data can be anything, right? Voice, or probably from picture, or the data by writing anything that contains data. And then we continue for the output device. The output device means the device that produce the output after the processing. Here, the product of the processing, it can be anything. Writing, for example, a report, and then image. Okay, image. if we capture from the web camera, we take a picture of a class probably, and we would like to print them, we will get the image. The sound, probably we capture from the web camera also, the sound from the condition captured, right? The form also, it can be if we produce some kind of form, right, in computer, and we would like to print them in the form of paper, or probably in the form of Google Form or any other services. Okay, then we continue output grouping. We've got several output devices here. It can be visual output, and then monitor, if we probably editing some kind of visual data, we can use the monitor to see how exactly the visual result of the visual data. And then the audio output, so probably this is related when you editing like a movie, yeah, that contains audio, and also audio output, and also visual output, speaker, also printing device. Probably if you writing down a report, that could be a paper-based report, or put it digitally also, can be digital. We continue for the processing tools here. Processing tools, we've got yeah, the popular ones, right, for processing is CPU, central processing unit. Here is a place or the device for processing here. Well, the structure of the CPU consists of control unit, and then arithmetic and logic unit. CPU also has small storage. It depends on the storage which embed on the CPU itself, and then register as small storage before processing that. Yeah, the storage itself, it's depend on the, yeah, probably the series of the computer. The newer probably storage is the bigger, right? The newer, of course, the bigger storage, right? In the world of PC, called microprocessor, right? And we also call it microprocessor for the personal computers. As we can see the illustration here about how exactly the work of the processing. Sorry, here we've got Indonesian bahasa. Sorry, this is still input and then we've got output. Right, the process is still the same. We've got an input here from the input device and then we've got the data here and then it's entered the processing device. There is some kind of process that running here. This is the component control unit, ALU, and then register, RAM, ROM, and here for the memory to save temporary. And then the last one is the output, producing the result of the processing. Okay, we continue for the system software. Programmers used to control the computer resource such as CPU, right? If we talk about the software, then we would like to relate with the program that helps to control the computer resources or the device that relate with the computer as an intermediary between application and the program computer. Well, here the software work as an intermediary or middle. The work between the hardware and the also the application program, right? System software can be further divided. We can see that system software as an intermediary divided into 3 types. The first one is programming languages. Programming languages is a software in charge of converting human design architecture and algorithm into format that can be run by the computer. For example, programming languages such as BASIC, COBOL, Pascal, this is an old languages. It's supposed to be finding the new one, right? Yeah, you can see that programming language right now is very a lot of in variety. Probably you can see for the web programming, you can use the PHP and then probably using for mobile, you can use C or C++. Yeah, and the other languages that might help for the programming language, right? Okay, then we've got another type of software called operating system. Here, the operating system, you can see from the beginning when you first turn on the computer, you can see that something is running there. Yeah, that was an operating system. The operating system, it's managing all the process inside the computer. And really a lot of work. They manage a lot of work here. All the process, translate input, manage internal process, memory usage, output, and etc. And generally, the I don't know, the standardized, as we all know, the structure of the operating system, as we know, is like in the form of DOS, or probably, DOS probably for the Windows users here, or probably we use Unix for the Linux user. Sorry, Linux. And then probably IBM and also Apple operating system, also different. And then there's also the third component. There is an utility. Utility here is part of the service of operating system. It's like a service of the operating system which help the work of the operating system itself, which contains several functions. For example, checking the hardware, troubleshooting, okay, and then probably there is some kind of error or damage, and then partitioning the storage also. It's the help of the utility software. The example of the utility software, as you can see, is a Norton utility, or probably in Windows you can use this partition for partitioning, right? This partition, or probably disk cleanup, and also to cleaning the disk, and etc. You can see from the utility there. We continue for the computer hardware. Oh, sorry, the first one is software. I think they mistaken to for the title here. Here means, okay, sorry. Here means several component about hardware, right? We talk about several tools. It can be hardware and also software, right? Hardware and software. The next one, we continue with here. Yeah, this one is also in software. Okay, let's continue. Hardware and software again. It's the we continue the material here. Okay, the application software. The application software. If you talk about the application, sorry, change with the pen. If we talk about the application, we might, yeah, as we all know, we might be related with the program. Program is the structure of the programming language that producing or performing such a kind of specific task, such as probably working for creating document, managing the document, such as Microsoft Word, and then manipulating photos, probably like a Photoshop, and then making financial statement, probably for calculation. We've got Excel, for example, any other software example that we can use or see in our day-to-day life. It's called application software. And the application software can be classified into 6 categories. The first one is entertainment software. Here for the entertainment software, we can use the thing that really general for us. For example, it's like a game program, games that we used to play from the computers, and then also for application for playing the music. We've got media player or anything probably. Yeah, or the other software for playing movies or the videos. Yeah, we call this one as an entertainment software. And then we continue for the second one is educational software. Here is the software that we use for educational purpose, such as encyclopedia probably, and then dictionary, and then lesson, probably learning management system, or probably anything that might help for study. And then work productivity. Here's the software that help for increasing our productivity, such as Microsoft Word, yeah, Microsoft Suite, yeah, Word, and the other. It's help to, yeah, increase our productivity work. And then the edutainment here, the combination of educational and also entertainment software. Here probably a software that contains educational theme, right? And also entertaining. probably application for teaching student how to code like that, or probably educational software that also in the form of games. It's also called edutainment. And then for the business software here, yeah, here it can be in the form of game. Sorry. Game. The business software. This is probably related with the work productivity software. For the business software, it can handle a lot of business process, probably from inventory, payment, registration. Yeah, this thing is related with operational work of an organization or a business. Is called business software. And then we've got special software. Here is software that specialized to for such a kind of uh purposes. For example, for architectural, we all know there is an AutoCAD for drawings, and then MATLAB. This is for visualization for mathematical equation. And then probably we've got a lot of special software, right? For example, Adobe Audition or Adobe Premiere, right? Audition, it's for managing audio. Audition, and then Premiere, it's for making movie. In here it to editing audio, and a lot of other example. Here is the other example. What processing is the software for processing words, right? Yeah, MS Word. Probably if you use the free for open source, sorry, open source version, you can use OpenOffice like that. Yeah, OpenOffice Docs, I guess the name, if I was not mistaken. And then the spreadsheet is also for calculation, computation. Here, you can use Excel or probably OpenOffice Calc. And then desktop publishing. Here, there is an example for using CorelDRAW. And then graphical presentation, we can use PowerPoint. And then OpenOffice Impress communication. We've got yeah, web browser, right? Browser. So this is Opera or probably Chrome or Firefox or the others, right? Personal information manager. Here there is an Outlook or computer organizer. And then DBMS, database management system. There are several software that might interesting for you, such as Access, VisualFox Pro, or some PP package, yeah, which also contain the MariaDB. And then we continue. Based on then how the software is obtained and used, the right software can be classified. Okay, well, when we talk about the software, probably you guys can will meet several type of software here. We can see there is a commercial software, means everyone who install or use this software have to pay, which means it's commercial, right? You have to pay for the copyright to use it legally. It's different from illegal one. Yeah, because we were from the academic, it's better for you guys to use the legal software. Yeah, you have to purchase the license, and then you can use the software after you got the license. Here, the example of the commercial software, for example, Microsoft Office, and then Microsoft Windows. The Windows itself, actually, I think right now for the Windows is already embedded after you buy some laptops or computer, it's already installed the Windows version. But the Office here sometimes is also you need to buy, or probably you got the bonus or something, so you don't need to pay anything. It depends on where do you guys buy the computer. And then the public domain software. Here for the public domain software, non-copyright software that allows anyone to take any action. If we talk about the public domain, public domain here means anyone can take any action, right? Publics, it's for public, right? This include discarding the name creator, treating it as his own copyright work. Generally, it's a form of a source code widely found in the internet. Well, when we talk about public domain, means the source code can be found on the internet. Everyone can probably modify them, or probably to modify them, or develop for develop them or improve. And then shareware. For the shareware here, there this is one of the software that is available without the source code, but you can directly use the software. Here, the point of the shareware, there is a word share here, means you don't need to pay anything. So you can use as you wish without even have, it's legal to use them without even paying to the manufacturer. Here, creating server here is need also financial assistance if we would like to move to the next further development, because it's share, probably it's not commercial, means they don't ask you to pay for anything, means for the next development it's also need some kind of financial aid. And then there is also another type, freeware. Freeware is available without source code. Of course, from the words free, we got them free to use without paying also. But usually they want the user to give feedback for the application software itself. So they probably need the help of user to make sure that the service is good or not good. They probably need a feedback input, so they can probably develop the better one. Here is no need to buy the commercial software if you got the freeware option. And then there's also a rentalware. Rentalware means like the words rental here. You need to pay for the renting the software. It can be annually or monthly. It depends on the package. And then free software. Free software is also probably the same one with the freeware here. Here is giving the opportunity for the users to modifying, distributing the modified version free software, yeah. Here, forbidding for making it a proprietary program. Right, here more likely for open, sorry, sorry, open source, related with open source, so you can get the software for free. Here, yeah, the next one is open source, right? Open source here introduced in 1998. The open source, we can make a copies, use the program without even paying for it. Yeah, there is an access also to make some kind of modification and to develop the program. Open source, it means open for public, means the public can modify it or develop for further. Here are information related to software. There is a version and release term. Version here means that the software probably it given the series numbers for the release of the software by putting some kind of number to make sure that it's differentiate from the previous one, using probably numbers 2.0, 3.0, and so on. Such as we've got like Office A97, Office 2000, or probably Office 365. Yeah, it's the series to make sure that it's different from the previous one. And the next one is release. Release here is declaring minor changes to the same version. Release here probably related with the version, but here is the number after the period. The first one is the period, and the release is on after the dots, right? The number after the dots to represent the release. The release is also probably relate with the time of release, right? When the software is released, probably in 2021 or previous or the next one. Okay, we can continue to the user interface here. Okay, for the user interface, we can get a lot of form of the user interface. Just the example of the user interface in the form. In the form here means like form that we know in the paper. In the paper when we filling out some kind of information, it's also put in digital form, such as Google Form or the other form. It's give interaction between the user and the computer. So computer probably give like space to the user to filling out some kind of question, to answer some kind of question in the form format. And then command driven. Here for the command driven means the user need to give some kind of command by typing in the prompt cell several desired commands. Probably this is really you will work a lot in command prompt, probably when you taking database class, yeah, when you managing database, you probably interacting with this command line. And then the next one is GUI or graphical user interface. GUI here, this is relies on the interface, means that the user needs to do several things to make the menus or the icon work by clicking double clicking or dragging anything. So the menus or the command is might work by several activities. Here the information technology trends. Well, we all know that the technology is evolving, right? Means that you guys as evolve means that you guys from information technology or information system program need to keep update with the trends of information technology. Here in 2029, there is a petabyte storage. Probably the size of storage is getting bigger and bigger. We all know the previous storage is only in the smaller size, and the internet also evolving. It's getting faster and faster, right? To do the communication. And then we've got here 2050. Oh, sorry. So by 2022, there is a PC capabilities that work equivalent to the human brain. And then in 2030, it hope there will be a brain power of human village. And then 2050, there's a balance with overall brain capabilities of human on Earth. It's like future trends. We don't know what the future holds, right? Okay. Sorry. This is the historical data for the trends also. The IP also, it's also evolving, right? It moves to the better one. Then the language translation also, it's getting better. Yeah, the teleportation here. Yeah, it's actually still questioning about this one, teleportation. Teleportation, when you can move one to another place. Yeah, but with the help of the technology, probably you can move by using like a super speed train or anything that you can go to one another place faster with the plane or anything that's also. But teleportation here is also probably it's different meaning when you watch the movie. You can move from one another place like in a magic like that. I guess it's not really done, but the fast transportation is already been developed, right? And then artificial brain implantation, yeah, there's also a lot of technology that been evolved right now. It's also this technology is helping the human to work faster, perform better, and everything to make the to improve the productivity like that. Yeah, here's the storage data metric. We all know we start for the first generation, probably. First generation, we use byte or probably kilobyte, right? For the capacity of the performing the task. But now, it's getting better, right? It's getting faster, and but probably they also required bigger space. Thus, we should keep update with the probably storage size, the information that related with the evolvement of the new technology trend. Okay, I think that's all for today. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. See you soon.